The plane hadn't even taken off yet, when the woman's head slowly tilted and rested on the shoulder of the silent man beside her. A few passengers chuckled. Someone whispered, "She's really tired." But then, a flight attendant froze. Another crew member leaned close and whispered urgently, "Don't move her. That's him." "Who?" The attendant swallowed. "That's the Korean Mafia boss." Suddenly, no one laughed anymore, because the man didn't move. He didn't push her away. He didn't react at all. He just sat there, letting a complete stranger sleep on his shoulder, while the entire cabin held its breath. And what no one knew was that this one small moment would start a chain of events that would humiliate the wrong people, expose powerful enemies, and turn a heartbroken woman into the only person the Korean Mafia boss would ever protect. Her name was Maya Johnson, and 30 hours before she fell asleep on that stranger's shoulder, her entire life had collapsed. It started with a phone call. "Maya, can you come in early today?" It was her hotel manager. She worked as a waitress at a luxury business hotel in downtown Chicago. The job wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. "Sure," she replied. She grabbed her coat, tied her hair, and rushed out. She had no idea. She was walking into the worst moment of her life. When she entered the staff hallway, she heard laughter, familiar laughter. Daniel, her boyfriend. She smiled automatically, but when she turned the corner, her smile froze. Daniel was standing near the storage room, his arm around another woman, not just any woman, and the manager's daughter, blonde, stylish, expensive, and Daniel was holding her like Maya never existed. Her heart dropped. She stood there, unable to breathe. Daniel noticed her, and instead of panic, he sighed. "Maya, this isn't what you think." The other woman smirked. "It's exactly what she thinks." Maya whispered, "How long?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. That silence hurt more than anything. 2 months, he finally admitted. 2 months, while he was still living in her apartment, while she paid half his rent, while she cooked for him, while she believed in him. Her hands trembled. "You said you loved me." He rubbed his neck. "You're good, Maya, but I need someone who can help my future." She stared at him. "I helped you when you had nothing." He shrugged. "That was different." The manager's daughter crossed her arms. She doesn't fit your circle, Daniel. Let's go." Daniel nodded. Before leaving, he looked at Maya. "You'll be okay. You're strong." And then he walked away. Just like that. No apology, no guilt, nothing. Maya didn't cry. Not there, not in front of them. She finished her shift, smiling, serving, pretending. But that night, she packed everything. Her apartment felt empty. Every corner reminded her of him. She opened her laptop, looked at random flights. One destination stood out: Seoul. She didn't know why. Maybe because it was far. Maybe because she wanted to disappear. Maybe because she wanted a completely new life. She booked the ticket. Cheapest seat available. No plan, no job, no friends, just escape. By the time Maya reached the airport, exhaustion swallowed her whole. She hadn't slept. Her eyes burned. Her body felt heavy. As she boarded the plane silently. Row 18, middle seat, window seat already occupied. A man in a black suit. He looked calm, cold, sharp features, expensive watch. She barely noticed him. Her brain was shutting down. She sat, buckled her seatbelt, closed her eyes, and within seconds, her head slowly tilted and rested on his shoulder. Passengers nearby noticed. One man smirked. "Already?" a woman whispered. "Some people have no manners." Another laughed quietly, but the man didn't move. He didn't look at her. He didn't push her away. He simply sat still, letting her sleep. A flight attendant approached. She was about to wake Maya, but then she saw him. Her expression changed instantly. She stepped back. Another attendant leaned close. "What happened?" she whispered. "That's Kang Min-jae." The second attendant froze. You're sure?" She nodded slowly. Both attendants looked at Maya, sleeping peacefully, on his shoulder. The second attendant whispered, "Should we wake her?" The first one shook her head. "No. If he wanted her moved, he would have done it." Passengers kept whispering, but slowly. The whispers faded, because the man remained completely still. 30 minutes passed, then an hour, then 2. Maya didn't move, her breathing deep, her face peaceful. And then, Kang Min-jae slightly adjusted his shoulder, so her head rested more comfortably. The attendant watching almost gasped, because Kang Min-jae never touched strangers, never allowed contact, never tolerated closeness. And yet, he was letting her sleep. Halfway through the flight, turbulence hit. The plane shook. Passengers grabbed armrests. Maya stirred, and her fingers instinctively gripped his sleeve. "Don't leave," she whispered in her sleep. Min-jae looked down. Her face looked vulnerable, tired, broken. He didn't move. The turbulence ended. She relaxed again, still leaning on him. The entire row stayed silent. No one dared disturb them. And for the first time in years, Kang Min-jae didn't feel irritated. He felt calm. When the plane finally landed, Maya slowly woke up. She blinked, confused. Then she realized. Her head, his shoulder, her eyes widened. "Oh my God!" She sat up instantly. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just—" She stopped, looking at his face. He was calm, unbothered. She swallowed. "I didn't drool, right?" He shook his head once. "No." She sighed in relief. "Thank you for not waking me." He looked at her quietly. "You needed it." His voice was deep and unexpectedly gentle. Passengers began exiting. Maya grabbed her bag. Before leaving, she looked back. "Thank you again." He nodded slightly. She walked out. And that's when everything changed. 4 men in black suits stood at the gate. They bowed. "Chairman." Passengers froze. Maya turned, confused. Kang Min-jae stepped out. Airport staff cleared the path. Security moved quickly. Everyone stepped aside. Maya's eyes widened. Her heartbeat quickened. She realized the man she slept on wasn't just rich. He was powerful, dangerously powerful, and she had no idea. Their paths were about to cross again, very soon, and next time, it wouldn't be accidental. It would be personal. Maya stood outside Incheon Airport, still replaying everything in her head. The man, the black suits, the bow. "Chairman." She tightened her grip on her suitcase. And this wasn't just some wealthy businessman. This was someone important, someone powerful, someone dangerous. She exhaled slowly. "Doesn't matter," she whispered to herself. She needed to focus. New country, no job, no plan, just survival. She opened her phone and searched. Cheap hotels near me. The prices made her stomach drop. Even the cheapest rooms were far beyond what she expected. She swallowed. Maybe she should take a hostel or sleep at the airport. She stepped aside near the taxi line. 2 businessmen in suits stood nearby. One looked at her suitcase. "Tourist?" he asked casually. She nodded politely. "Yes," he smirked. "Seoul is expensive." The other laughed. "She'll find out soon." Maya forced a smile and turned away. She wasn't in the mood for humiliation again. Not after Daniel. Not after everything. Just then, a black luxury sedan pulled up. The door opened. She didn't think it was for her, until a man in a black suit stepped out. He bowed slightly. "Miss Johnson?" Her heart skipped. "Yes?" "The chairman asked us to drive you." Her mind went blank. "What?" He spoke calmly. "He noticed you didn't arrange transportation." She blinked. "He noticed?" "Yes." Her chest tightened. "That's not necessary. I'll take a taxi." The chairman insisted. People around them stared. The two businessmen from earlier went silent. The driver opened the door respectfully. She hesitated. Everything about this felt unreal, but refusing repeatedly felt awkward. She slowly stepped inside. The door closed. Soft leather, quiet engine, the city lights reflecting on tinted glass. Her heart beat faster. This felt like stepping into another world. The driver spoke gently. "Where would you like to go?" She hesitated. "Cheap hotel." The driver nodded, but the car didn't head toward the cheaper districts. Instead, it moved toward Gangnam, her brows furrowed. I think this is the wrong direction." "The chairman arranged your stay." Her eyes widened. "No, I can't. It's already confirmed." Her stomach tightened. "This is too much." The driver smiled slightly. He said, "You looked like someone who needed rest." Her throat tightened unexpectedly. Someone who needed rest. No one had said that to her in a long time. The car stopped in front of a towering glass hotel. Valet staff rushed forward. The doors opened. She stepped out slowly. The lobby was massive. Marble floors, crystal lights, people dressed in suits and designer outfits. She suddenly felt out of place. And the driver handed her a key card. "Suite 1904. Her eyes widened. "Suite?" "Yes," she swallowed. "This is really unnecessary." The driver bowed slightly. "Welcome to Seoul, Miss Johnson." He left. Just like that. She stood there, frozen. A staff member approached. "Miss Johnson, may I assist with your luggage?" She nodded silently. They escorted her to the elevator. Inside the suite, she gasped. Floor-to-ceiling windows, city skyline, living room, bedroom, everything elegant. She set her bag down slowly. This couldn't be real. Why would a stranger do this? Why would a powerful man help her? She sat on the bed, and for the first time since Chicago, she felt safe. She fell asleep again, this time without tears. Maya decided she couldn't stay forever. She needed a job. She dressed simply and went downstairs for breakfast. And the restaurant buzzed with quiet luxury. She stood in line. Then she heard a familiar voice. "Maya?" Her entire body froze. She turned slowly. Daniel, standing there, with the same woman. Her stomach dropped. What are you doing here?" he asked. "I'm traveling." He laughed. "This hotel?" His girlfriend smirked. "She probably works here." Daniel chuckled. "Yeah, that sounds right." Maya stayed calm. "I'm staying here." They both laughed louder. "Sure," Daniel said. At that moment, the manager approached. He bowed slightly. "Miss Johnson, your table is ready." Daniel blinked. "Miss?" The manager gestured toward the VIP section. Maya walked quietly. Daniel stared, confused. His girlfriend frowned. "This doesn't make sense." They watched her sit. Minutes later, the entire restaurant suddenly stood. Staff lined up. Daniel turned. Asen saw him, Kang Min-jae, walking in. The room went silent. He walked calmly, past everyone, straight to Maya's table. Daniel's mouth opened. Min-jae sat across from her. "Good morning." She looked surprised. "Good morning." Daniel whispered. Do you know him? His girlfriend shook her head slowly. Min-jae asked Maya, Are you comfortable here? Yes. Thank you. He studied her expression. You look bothered. She hesitated. Just someone from my past. Min-jae turned. His eyes landed on Daniel. Cold. Daniel immediately looked away. A chill ran through him. Min-jae spoke calmly. They bothering you? She shook her head. No. He nodded. Conversation ended. But 5 minutes later, hotel security approached Daniel. Sir, we need you to leave. What? Why? This section is reserved. Daniel pointed. But she's sitting there, the guard replied calmly. She is a guest of Chairman Kang. Daniel froze. Everything clicked. He had mocked her. Again. But this time, she wasn't alone, and he had just embarrassed himself in front of the wrong man. Maya watched quietly. She didn't smile. She didn't react. But inside, it felt like justice. Min-jae glanced at her. You know him. Yes. He hurt you. She stayed silent. That was enough. Min-jae nodded slightly, and Daniel was escorted out. Humiliated. In front of everyone. The balance had shifted, and Maya didn't even realize. This was only the beginning, because someone else was now watching her. Someone who didn't like that she was close to Kang Min-jae. Someone powerful. Someone dangerous. And soon, Maya would be pulled into a world she never meant to enter. And after the restaurant incident, things should have gone back to normal. But they didn't. Because in Kang Min-jae's world, nothing stayed simple. And now, Maya was part of that world, even if she didn't realize it yet. That evening, Maya returned to her suite. She still felt strange about everything. The breakfast, Daniel, Min-jae sitting across from her. She wasn't used to this kind of attention. She wasn't used to someone powerful, protecting her. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number? She hesitated, then answered. Hello? Silence. Then a woman's voice. You should leave. Maya frowned. Who is this? You don't belong near him. Her heartbeat slowed. I think you have the wrong... The line disconnected. She stared at her phone, confused, uneasy. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe someone from the hotel. But something about the voice felt cold. I calculated. She shook it off, took a shower, tried to relax, but she didn't notice. Across the street. A black car parked quietly, someone watching her window. Meanwhile, in another building across the city, Kang Min-jae sat at the head of a long table. His men stood around him. The investors from Busan confirmed, one reported. Shipment arrives tomorrow. Min-jae nodded. Security? Handled. Another man stepped forward. There's something else. Min-jae looked up. A woman contacted Miss Johnson. The room went silent. Min-jae's eyes narrowed slightly. Who? Likely connected to Director Han. The air turned cold. Director Han, one of Min-jae's biggest rivals, powerful, ruthless, and known for targeting weaknesses. Min-jae spoke calmly. Increase protection. Yes, Chairman. He leaned back slightly. For years, no one dared use civilians against him. But now, someone noticed Maya. That meant one thing. She had become visible, and in his world, visibility meant danger. The next morning, Maya walked through the lobby. She planned to leave soon. She couldn't stay forever. But as she stepped outside, a familiar black car stopped. The door opened. Min-jae stepped out. She blinked. Oh, he nodded slightly. You're going somewhere? I was just walking. He studied her. You look uneasy. She hesitated. I got a strange call last night. His eyes sharpened. What did they say? She told me to stay away from you. Silence. Min-jae didn't look surprised. That scared her. Is that normal? She asked quietly. Yes. Her stomach tightened. You should leave, he said calmly. Her eyes widened. What? It's safer. Something inside her dropped. She nodded slowly. I understand. He watched her carefully. You're not upset. She shook her head. No, I don't want trouble. He paused, then said quietly, Neither do I. But at that moment, a black van suddenly sped toward the curb. Tires screeched, doors opened, 2 men rushed out. Everything happened fast. One grabbed Maya's arm. She gasped. Before she could scream, Min-jae moved, fast. He pulled her behind him. One attacker swung. Min-jae blocked. His bodyguards appeared instantly. Chaos exploded. Within seconds, the attackers were restrained. Passengers nearby screamed. Maya's heart pounded wildly. She clutched his sleeve. He turned slightly. You're okay? She nodded, shaken. Yes. Police sirens echoed in the distance. The attackers were dragged away. Min-jae looked at his men. Who sent them? Still checking. He looked at Maya. You see now? She swallowed. Yes. You should leave Seoul. Her voice trembled slightly. And you? I don't leave. She nodded slowly. This was his world. Dangerous, cold, violent. And she didn't belong in it. But as she turned to leave, she felt something unexpected. She didn't want to walk away. Not after everything. Not after he protected her. She stopped. Thank you. He nodded once. But as she walked away, his gaze followed her, longer than usual, because for the first time, he didn't want someone to disappear. Later that night, Maya packed her suitcase. She booked a flight back. This was too much, too dangerous, too unreal. But as she zipped her bag, there was a knock. She froze, slowly opened the door. Min-jae stood there, alone. Hi, no guards? She asked. They're downstairs. He stepped inside. She felt nervous, but also calm. You're leaving, he said. Yes. Silence. He looked at her. You're not afraid of me. She smiled faintly. You let me sleep. That answer surprised him. You trust easily. No, just you. Silence filled the room. Then she asked softly, Why did you help me? He paused for a long moment, then spoke. You didn't know who I was. She blinked. And? You treated me normally. Her chest tightened. Most people feared him, respected him, wanted something from him. She didn't. She just slept and apologized. Nothing more. He continued quietly. That's rare. She looked down. I didn't do anything special. You did. Silence again. Then he said softly, Stay. Her heart skipped. What? Stay in Seoul. She hesitated. And it's dangerous. Yes. You just told me to leave. I changed my mind. She laughed softly. You're confusing. Yes. She looked at him. For a moment, she almost said yes. But then she remembered. The attackers. The warning call. The danger. I can't, she whispered. He nodded slowly. I understand. He turned to leave. But just before he stepped out, she said, Will I see you again? He paused. Yes. Then he walked away. And Maya didn't realize. Her decision to leave would trigger something much bigger. Because Director Han wasn't done yet. And now, he had a new plan. A cruel one. One that would force Maya back into Min-jae's world, whether she wanted it or not. Maya didn't sleep that night. Her suitcase sat near the door. Her flight was in the morning. Everything should have felt right. She was leaving danger behind. and leaving confusion behind, leaving Kang Min-jae behind. But her chest felt heavy, because for the first time in months, she felt seen, and she was walking away from it. She lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number again. Her heartbeat slowed. She answered carefully. "Hello?" The same woman's voice, cold. "You're leaving tomorrow." Maya's fingers tightened. "Who are you? You made the right choice. Why are you doing this?" Silence. Then the voice replied, "Because you're his weakness." The line disconnected. Maya sat up, her heart racing. "Weakness?" She whispered softly, "I'm nobody." But she didn't realize that in Kang Min-jae's world, being nobody was exactly why she mattered. The next morning, Maya arrived at the airport. She checked in, boarding pass in hand. She exhaled slowly. This was it. And she was leaving Seoul, leaving everything behind. She sat near the gate. Passengers gathered. Normal noise, normal life. She almost felt relieved. Then she noticed something. The same black van, across the glass. Her stomach dropped. Her breathing slowed. She stood slowly, trying not to panic. Two men stepped out, walking toward the entrance. Her hands trembled. She turned, started walking, faster. Her heart pounded. The men followed. She reached security. But before she could pass, one grabbed her arm. "Come with us!" She tried to pull away. "Let go!" Passengers stared. No one moved. The second man whispered, "Don't make a scene!" Fear flooded her chest, but suddenly, a calm voice echoed behind them. "Release her!" The men froze. They turned. Kang Min-jae walked forward, alone, cold, controlled. The entire area went silent. The attacker scoffed. "You shouldn't have come." Min-jae replied calmly, "You shouldn't have touched her." The men released Maya, but instead of running, she stood behind him, her hands trembling. More men appeared. Director Han's people. The tension thickened. One of them smirked. "She's just a civilian. Why risk everything?" Min-jae's answer was quiet. "She is under my protection." Those words changed everything. Passengers whispered. Airport security froze, because in his world, that sentence meant one thing: untouchable. The attackers hesitated. They didn't want a public conflict. Finally, they backed away. One of them whispered, "This isn't over." They left. Maya's knees weakened slightly. Min-jae turned. "You're leaving?" She nodded slowly. "They followed me." "Yes." "You knew?" "Yes." Her voice softened. You came anyway." "I always do." Her chest tightened. Silence. Then he said, "You can't leave now." She understood. It was too dangerous. She nodded slowly. "Okay." And just like that, she stayed. That evening, Maya sat inside a quiet office. Min-jae stood near the window. She finally asked the question. "Who are you, really?" He turned. "Kang Group." She shook her head. "That's not all." Silence. Then he spoke. "I control logistics, shipping, finance, and enforcement." Her heartbeat slowed. "Mafia." "Yes." He didn't hide it, didn't soften it, just truth. She expected fear, but instead, she felt calm, because she already saw who he was. He continued. "My enemies use people close to me," she whispered. "And now, that's me." "Yes." Silence filled the room. Then she said softly, "I don't regret it." That surprised him. You should." "You let me sleep," she replied, "and you protected me." His eyes softened slightly. For the first time, he looked unsure. 2 days later, Director Han made a mistake. He targeted Maya again. But this time, Min-jae was ready. A meeting was arranged. Private warehouse. Han arrived confident. But when he entered, he realized something was wrong. Min-jae stood waiting, calm, controlled. "Using civilians," Min-jae said quietly. Han smirked. "She matters to you." Min-jae replied. "You crossed a line." Han laughed. "You won't start a war over a woman." Silence. Then Min-jae spoke. "I already did." Doors opened. Han's shipment seized, his accounts frozen, his allies gone, everything dismantled. Han's smile vanished. You touched the wrong person." For the first time. Han looked afraid. Min-jae walked past him. A conflict ended. Without violence, without chaos, just power, complete, final. That night, Maya stood on the rooftop, soul glowing below. Min-jae walked beside her. "It's over," she nodded. "Because of me?" "Yes." "I'm sorry." He shook his head. "No." Silence. Wind soft. City lights endless. She looked at him. "You changed my life." "You changed mine." She smiled faintly. "All I did was fall asleep." He replied quietly, "That's when everything started." She laughed softly. "You're still the same man." "And you're still the same woman." Silence. Then he said, "Stay." She looked at him. This time, she didn't hesitate. "Okay." He nodded. For the first time, Kang Min-jae smiled fully. And somewhere, passengers from that flight would never forget the day a tired woman fell asleep on a stranger's shoulder, and the crew whispered, "That's the Korean Mafia boss." What they didn't know was that moment created the only person he would ever protect, the only person he would ever trust, and the only woman who turned the most dangerous man in Korea into someone capable of love.